Hey guys, it's Jungle MGTOW, and we're back for another episode. Today I want to talk about why you can't even live with a woman for more than 3 years. We all know you can't even marry a woman because then she's entitled to half your stuff and you got to pay her alimony. But a lot of people don't know under common law, you are automatically considered married to her if you live with her for a certain period of time. Now, in Canada, where I'm from, it would take 3 years, only 3 years of living with the woman for you to be considered married to her, and now she can go fuck Chad and then take half your stuff. That's a scam. That's not normal. No person would want to do that. In some other countries, it takes 5 years. I've heard of 7 years. But in Canada, it's 3 years. So that's a problem because us men, we do want relationships with women. Everyone does. It'd be nice to be able to have a normal wife, have a normal life. But because of the gynocentric laws that are in place in this modern Western society, we can't. And it hurts men and it hurts women. What the woman will do is find a man, stay with him until they're married or common law, and then just leave because now she gets half your stuff. It's a good business deal for women. It's a terrible business deal for men, but for women, it makes sense. A lazy woman who never wanted to work hard in her life, never accomplished anything, has no assets, can now get that from a man. Someone like me and you who actually work hard. We might work 80-hour work weeks. We might have had to sacrifice the parties. We might have had to give up fucking thousands of girls to work hard and achieve the success we had. Meanwhile, this woman did nothing at all in her life, fucked hundreds of guys, and now wants to take half your stuff. And because of the laws in these countries, she can. She literally can steal your stuff. And that's a huge problem. So the common defense we hear from women is that, oh, just sign a prenup. Well, Google prenup overturned. It happens all the time. Just because you have a prenup doesn't mean you're secured. Some judge will overturn that. Some judge who is probably a beta male simp with a wife and kids will overturn that. And it's just up to the judge. You're taking a chance. So you can't even sign a prenup to protect yourself from a marriage or a common law relationship. So it's 2.5 months. You actually like this girl, but you have to end that relationship. And it sucks because this is part of that red pill rage that you hear guys talking about, because all of us, we want a relationship with a woman. We would love that, but we can't. It's a bad business decision. So when you're approaching that 3-year mark in Canada, you have to break up with her before those 3 years come. Otherwise, she's legally allowed to take half your stuff. And not only that, there's a thing called alimony where you will just have to give her money to support her life. I'm not talking about child support for the kids. Now, if you have kids, you should be paying child support. That's fair. But alimony goes towards her. For her to get drunk at the bar, for her to buy purses and dresses, for her to go on dates with Chad. You're paying for that. You're a cook. You're a loser. You're a beta male simp. And these are the laws in place. So let's say I did like a girl and now the 3-year mark comes. Well, she gets bored. Like, we all know divorce rates are high. Relationship breakups are even higher. So of course she's going to get bored, want something else. There's a better guy. Women are hypergamous. They cheat. We know this. So am I just going to wait to get screwed over? Or do I end that relationship before the 3-year mark? And you have to. It's not optional. And this isn't a good thing for anyone. Women are now wondering, where have all the good men gone? Why do no one want to marry these women? Why do no one even want to have a long-term relationship? And that's the thing. I could get screwed over for years to come. Just dating, no children, nothing. I can now be forced to pay her alimony to support her lazy, worthless life. She could get a job if she wanted to. There's McDonald's, whatever. But she doesn't want to because the laws are set up so that she can just sit on her ass and do nothing while a successful man pays for that. And that's ridiculous. So this is where you hear of the MGTOW philosophy saying that you cannot get in a long-term relationship with a woman. You just cannot, because you will get screwed over. And there's nothing stopping her from doing that. The woman that you date is going to be completely different than that woman when you break up with her. When she's angry at you, she doesn't care. They're not moral creatures. Women will only do what's best for themselves. And this comes from survival. Women can't actually love you in the way that you as a man love them. All she cares about is her resources. And this is sometimes called hypergamy. And there's nothing wrong essentially with this because it's how humans got to be where they are today. Through female hypergamy, wanting the men with the most assets, wanting what's best for their kids. So it's in her nature to want to get a man, wait 3 years, break up with him, and then rinse and repeat that cycle. If she doesn't have to work, why would she want to? If she doesn't need to, if there'll be some man that'll always support her through alimony or through whatever, there's no incentive for the woman to actually work and become successful. And of course, there are women who do that. There's lots of women who work, take care of themselves, but those women probably don't want to date you. They are independent career women. They don't need a man. And then that's the thing. That's a funny thing as well. Even if you date a career woman, break up with her in 3 years, she's still entitled to half your stuff. Because you as the man who is significantly more successful than this woman who is not that successful, she might have a job, $80,000 a year, whatever. But if you're a man who has a business, land, assets, doing really well in your life, well, she's entitled to half of that. Even if you accrued it before the marriage, before that relationship, she can now get half your stuff. So this is the reason why successful men don't pursue long-term relationships with women. The laws of the countries that we live in are just set up in such a way that we just can't. It's too dangerous. And then men, we will always have that biological drive for sex. But because of feminism, we don't need to be in a relationship with women anymore to get sex. Because of feminism, women have been taught that it's okay to fuck hundreds of guys. It's their sexual liberation, woohoo, whatever. But because of that, it actually ends up hurting them because now they're just going to be pumped and dumped. If I don't have to be in a relationship with this woman to get sex, why would I? Unless I want kids with her, that's a different thing. But realistically, I don't think I want kids till I'm older. Let's say I might want to have kids when I'm 35. I'm 28 now. So that's about 7 years of me not needing a woman for reproduction. So I'm just going to have sex with any random slut who wants to because I don't need to be in a relationship. I don't even need to spend money on her to get sex anymore. Like, women have just ruined it for themselves. And then to even make it worse, let's say I do want kids now. Let's say I turn 35 and I want to have kids. Well, I'm going to start dating the 25-year-olds who are better looking, less used up, less emotional baggage, less mental issues than a 35-year-old female who's my age. Not only has she reached what we call the wall when her looks begin to fade, and I'm not saying all women who are 35 are unattractive, because let's be fair, there's a lot of really hot older women that we'd love to smash. But the thing is, if there's other women who are younger and better in every single aspect, why would I want to have kids with this 35-year-old woman? Not only in that regards, but in regards to the health of my future offspring. A 25-year-old is going to have a healthier child than a 35-year-old. If she can even get pregnant. As women get older, their eggs literally dry up because from the time a woman is 18 to 35, she doesn't really want to get married. She just wants to ride what we call the cock carousel, just having casual sex with tons of guys, no commitment. And then when she's 35, that's when she wants a family, but no one wants her then, because us successful men, we can pick and choose. If I can date an 18-year-old girl and she's going to treat me better in every regard, it just makes no sense. So that's why we're seeing all these single women, 35, with cats. They're alone. They're sad. There'll always be, though, a beta male to date her, but then she won't be happy with him. Because if a woman's dating a beta male simp, she will always have that drive to have sex with the alpha male. And this is why women cheat in all these types of relationships with normal men. But these men don't realize that. So anyone who's going to get in a relationship with a 35-year-old woman, they're blue pill. They don't have the same knowledge that we do. And they're going to get screwed over. They will be broken up with. They'll be divorced. And you see this happen with guys who get divorced 3 times. They get bankrupt, lose all their money. It's like, we know this is going to happen, but they don't. And that's why I'm trying to make this type of content. Because if I can save one person, or that's amazing. But because of the way of the internet works and the hundreds of views, I might actually be able to save 1,000 people from marriage. And that's a really good thing, because when you get to a point in your life, it's not necessarily about making any more money. It starts to become, how can you have a positive change on this world? And for a lot of us MGTOW people, we actually enjoy making this content. I'm fulfilled by talking about this right now. It makes me happy. And then knowing that other men who may not be aware of this same knowledge will come across this, realize that, yeah, what he's saying actually is true. Well, I might have saved their life. So the point is, because of the laws that exist, and it's not just Western society, you can go to third world countries too, but that are still part of this common law system. I'm just going to think like Barbados, for example. There's like 40 common law countries, I think 38 maybe. But in all these countries, if you just live with a woman for a certain amount of time, you are now considered married, and she's allowed to take half your money, and you can also have to pay her monthly income as well. You're paying her a salary just to be a slut. That's literally what alimony is. You're just paying to support her life as she fucks other guys, drinks bottles of boxed wine, like whatever. It's just ridiculous. But men seem to be okay with this, or don't know that they don't have to do this. So unless you really want to have children with a woman, and you don't do this either until you're older, because unless you have the financial resources, the maturity to actually take care of your children and give them a good life, don't. So if you're a 25-year-old man wanting children, reconsider that. Because as a man, there's no time limit. I can have kids when I'm 50 if I want, but she can't. And that's something really important to understand, because women have an internal clock ticking away. Day by day by day by day, her eggs are drying up. She's getting uglier. And she knows this. We know this. Everyone knows this. They call it the wall. And women hit the wall. She's no longer as attractive as she was when she was 25 years old. This is just the truth. Whereas us men, usually we get more attractive. Our muscles get bigger. We acquire more resources. Our haircuts get more better. Just in general, a 35-year-old man is going to be more attractive than a 25-year-old man. That's just how it works. So because of the system that women have created, now they did this all themselves. It's feminism. They screwed themselves. But because of the system they created, us men don't have to date a 35-year-old. We just don't. If I want to have children with a beautiful 25-year-old, I can. And I encourage you to. So for men, do not have children and do not get trapped into that, because women will use children to trap you. Let's say you're a 25-year-old man and you're fucking some 25-year-old girl. Just a pump and dump. You know you don't want anything to do with her, but she wants you. She wants a long-term relationship. This is what women want. It's financially in their best interest. So she's going to try to get pregnant. She might lie to you saying, "Oh, I'm on the pill. It's okay. Don't you love me? We don't need to use condoms." And guess what? She's going to get pregnant. And then now you are screwed because you have a kid now with some useless slut that you don't want as your wife. And then to make it worse, alimony as well. That's a real thing. So I'm not an expert in the laws, but if you've been with a woman, let's say less than 3 years, and she gets pregnant, well, you do have to pay child support. But I'm not sure about alimony. I would assume you probably do. It wouldn't surprise me if a judge said yes. Like the whole legal system, the family court system favors women. So even though you're not even in a common law relationship with her, you might still have to pay her alimony while she wants to be a single mother, fucking random guys, getting drunk at the bar, doing drugs. You have to support that. And then in another regards as well, through child support, women can get more money than what's actually required to support the kid. So let's say it actually only costs $1,000 a month to take care of little Jabari, to make sure Jabari's fed, goes to school, has clothes, the sports teams. It only costs $1,000. But this woman may request $1,500 from the judge, and the judge will grant that. And the problem is this woman does not have to show you receipts. She can spend these funds any way she wants. Now, the legal term for this is misappropriation of funds, but that doesn't apply in the family court. It doesn't. So she can spend this money on anything she wants. She can take Chad out for dinner. She can drink her alcohol, spend money on drugs, purses, clothing. That should have went to the children. And then you see this child actually suffering because he's not getting everything he needs now. And that's a big problem with child support. The woman does not have to show you receipts for what she's spending your money on. And that's wrong. So as a 25-year-old man, when this random girl gets you pregnant, because that's what she wants to get pregnant knowing she'll get your money, you're screwed. So even when you're pumping and dumping these random sluts, you have to wear your condom. Never do it without a condom, or you could potentially be screwed over. And that's part of the problem. I want to touch on another topic as well, because there's older women who have had their tubes tied. And I've had sex with older women that I didn't wear a condom with because I knew she couldn't get pregnant. So that is one of the good benefits to fucking these older women. You don't need to use a condom. If you're fucking someone who's 35, well, there's a pretty good chance she's not going to be able to get pregnant. So she cannot screw you over for that way. So in an aspect, it's almost better to be pumping and dumping these older women as opposed to pumping and dumping the young woman. Because let's be honest, a vagina is a vagina and the person makes sex more fun, but it's not that much different. Sex from a 25-year-old to having sex with a 35-year-old is not that different. So I would almost even recommend you fuck these older women, because the chances of these older women trying to take you for alimony or child support becomes almost non-existent. It's all these young women or women dating older men that run this scam. But again, you don't have to fuck older women. As long as you wear a condom, you can fuck these young girls. It'll be okay. But just don't fall for the trap where she says, "Oh, I'm on the birth control pill. You don't need to use a condom." Don't fall for that. Don't. So that's pretty much what I wanted to just talk about today, that we can't even be in a relationship with a woman anymore. Like, you might be able to in Afghanistan or Iraq. I don't think those laws exist there. But if you're in Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, the United States, all these countries that most of you guys are from, you cannot get in a long-term relationship with the woman, or you will be screwed. So it's really important to understand this. And in conclusion, research the laws of your country. So let's say you're from Canada. I want you to go on Google and type in Canada common law relationship. You have to know how long it takes before you have to kick that hoe to the door. In Canada, before the 3-year mark, you have to tell her to pack her shit and get the fuck out. It sounds brutal and sad because you might actually like her, but in your own best interest, you cannot. So that's just what I wanted to explain to a lot of men before they make these relationship decisions that can permanently affect them for their whole life. So stay smart, guys, and remember, never enter a long-term relationship with any modern woman, okay? Do not.